about the Tether story. It's probable.
Go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
Probation. What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's well. Hello, everybody in chat. I see a lot of names. Sashina, Witchy, Nancy, Johnny, Jen, Michelle, Kathleen, Jonathan, Chris, Leanne, all right, Debbie, Jay. Hey, Jay. Everybody else, thank you for coming. How's everybody doing? Got a couple of good clips for you. I think I got 4 in total. Kind of bounce all over the place in this one, but all kind of the same theme. Just defendants that get themselves in trouble. Yeah. Little bit about my day. I had an amazing interview this morning, so hopefully I hear back from that company next week. And yeah, I also get remonetized next week. So next week is going to be a big week. So let's go. But before I hit the play button, you already know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe button, do your jump kick backflips, and if you would like to super chat, link trees in the description, please and thank you. All right, let's go.
Colin. Okay. Calling case number.
All right, we do start up with Judge King. I watch Judge King every day. His audio in his courtroom is pretty bad. So even the good clips I don't use because it's pretty hard to hear at times. This is all over Zoom though, so no audio issues. And yeah, this guy.
30-603-4701. The people of the state of Michigan versus the defendant, Kamari, Fernandez, Terry, and Burnside. The defendant has been charged with count 1, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation. Count 2, domestic violence. Set the hearing, violation hearing today.
Parents, for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service by Jonathan Cohen, P86151. I'm appearing by Zoom with Mr. Kamari Burnside, who appears by Zoom from the Wayne County Jail in custody. Mr. Burnside, can you please state your full name?
Kamari Fernandez Terrion Burnside.
All right, Mr. Burnside is here on a tether violation.
Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry, procedurally, I think at this point we would deny the tether violation. We would like to make a request that the court consider reinstating his bond with the tether conditions whenever the court wants to hear from me on that.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Judge. So in this particular case, although I understand it is concerning that he was inside the exclusion zone, what I don't know at this point is how large that exclusion zone is. I think Mr. Burnside's indicating that he has some family members that stay potentially within that exclusion zone on a street that's close by to where the complainant lives. The complainant was contacted in this case, and apparently she's not alleging any contact. She's not alleging anything, I guess, as far as what the court read to me. So given that I don't see a violation of his curfew unless I'm misunderstanding the times. And it doesn't appear that he had any contact, or at least they didn't verify that he had any contact with the complainant. I would ask the court to reinstate his bond and the tether conditions. He is employed at Northwest High School as a floor technician and has maintained that job throughout the pendency of this case, and would like to get back to work if possible. He also does have a young child that he is at least partially responsible for the care and custody of. Thank you. I don't believe he has a significant criminal record either. Thank you.
All right, I'm not going to make fun of the job that he has, but floor technician, I mean, we're going all out with the the titles these days. Floor technician. I don't know. They do say what he does later, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense, but it's kind of a weird title to have, right? Yeah, wait till you hear what happens. Yeah, Judge King is awesome. I like Judge King too, but yeah, floor technician. All right. It's like one of those titles you give yourself on a resume, that make you look a lot better than you were. That's what it kind of sounds like.
People,
Thank you, Judge. I guess I believe that normally the exclusion zone is explained to defendants so that they know what areas specifically to avoid. So I don't know if defendant didn't understand, if he made a mistake, or if he just didn't care. I mean, I guess we don't have that information right now, but bottom line, it does not appear that he contacted the complainant or, had any contact with the complainant at all. So, I wish we had a little bit more information about whether or not he knew he was in that exclusion zone. But it doesn't appear that he was doing something maliciously.
Mr. Burnside, you didn't understand that you weren't supposed to be in the exclusion zone?
I didn't understand that, but if I was close to it, it would go off because I wasn't trying to be in the exclusion zone. I made a mistake. I wasn't trying to be nowhere near it. I've been trying to do good and stay clear.
Why didn't you answer your phone when the tether folk called you?
I got to get my phone fixed. I was working on trying to get it fixed because I had a feeling that y'all probably was gonna call me, and I was trying to use somebody else's phone to call my debit agent, but the phone went to voicemail.
All right, quiz. Who knows what movie this came from? I am a master at the custodial arts, or a janitor if you want to be a dick about it. First person to get that movie right. Let's go.
Because once my box started going off, I had left and I was getting the phone to contact my agent, but it went straight to voicemail.
So where were you, sir?
I was on Clemens.
What's on Clemens?
A family member house. I got some cousins over there. They wanted to see me. Cousins.
Give me some names.
You ever heard of, well, not you probably don't know, but Javion Bryant, one of my cousins, Philip Bryant, Jasmine Mixon.
These were the cousins you were going to see?
Yes.
Devion Bryant and who else?
Philip Bryant, his brother, and
What's
their
the name?
mother. Philip Bryant.
Philip Bryant.
Yeah.
Mike, we just became best friends. Yeah, Joe Dirt's a good guess. That would be a good guess. I can see why you would guess that, but it is half baked. Good job, Mike.
And did you see them?
I didn't get a chance to. I wound up leaving once my box started beeping because I didn't want to get in trouble.
Okay, so your tether went off, right? Why did you go back
Yes.
to the location after it went off?
That's the thing. I never went back. Unless, well, I did. I was in the car later on that day. I was in the car, but I never went back. I didn't want to get in trouble.
Sorry, try it again. You're breaking up.
I said I was in the car, but I never went back because I don't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble.
According to your tether records, you went at the exclusion zone twice that day.
Okay. Somebody at nighttime?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when I had road. That's when I was in the car. We had road past. I wasn't in the exclusion zone.
You rolled past what?
I rode past where I was at. The
Where was
first
you
time
at?
I was on Davidson. We rode past on Davidson, going towards the Family Dollar. It's a Family Dollar.
I don't get the feeling that your client is being truthful with me.
I'm being truthful, sir.
This whole business about going to visit cousins. He was
Judge-
there, but
Go
didn't
ahead.
see the cousins. And then he just so happened to be riding by. The story sounds kind of fishy to me.
All right, I'm gonna tell you the truth, sir. I was at my cousin's house, and the second time when they say I was in the zone, I wasn't really in the zone. Yeah, I got proof that I was at home.
Lying on you. The teller's lying on you.
No, I never said that. I was saying like I never went back. Like I never was in the zone where, like I did ride past the zone. And my box did that before it went off when I was on my way on the freeway before it, and I didn't know if I was gonna get in trouble right now. Because where the exclusion zone is right on Davidson. Where these apartments at? Like the exclusion zone is kind of towards Davidson, like covering Davidson Street, because where the apartment is.
So you know where the
Right, one of the first
exclusion
ones.
is, right?
Say that again, sir?
You do know where the exclusion zone is, right?
Yeah, they told me the apartment, so I never went to the apartment.
But you just rolled past.
Yeah, but I never stopped, got out, no nothing. I was trying to take care of some more business.
Right past. Why are you even playing it so close, sir?
No, I wasn't trying to play it closer. I told my driver, don't go that way. But they talking about that I'm not gonna get in trouble. I told them I will get in trouble.
Who was your driver?
My driver, female that I know, one of my female friends.
I understand why Judge King is sketchy about this story. I actually tend to believe him. I don't know if it's just because of the day I had, but he went to his cousin's house, his monitor was beeping, he left, and then later that day he was driving by close to it and it beeped. I mean, I guess that's possible. He should be smarter than that. But I mean, even the prosecutor said that they reached out to the not the witness, the victim. Yeah, and the prosecutor said right at the start that there was no contact. She never even saw him. So story does make sense, but he's not very good at telling it.
You see how this is going, Mr. Cohen? What's her name, sir?
Dior Muhammad.
And she drove you past there, is that right?
Yes.
And you told her not to.
Yes. So she said, yeah, she didn't believe me, thinking that I would get in trouble. I told her I will. Because I was already close by earlier, and I didn't want y'all thinking that I'm trying to do something to the defendant. Then she felt kind of crazy when she seen that my box went off, and I told her like I can go to jail because you playing with my freedom.
So, Judge, can I just clarify, or may I ask one clarifying question? What I wasn't sure is because of if they're using military time the entire time, was the Tether report? Okay, so was it indicating that he was somehow in the exclusion zone at 2:58 a.m. until essentially 9 p.m. the next day?
No, I don't think I said that.
Oh, I heard 2:58 at some point, which is why I was asking, because normally if it's military, that would be 14:58, but
It was 10:35 hours. So that's 10:35 a.m.
right. There was an indication that he entered again.
5 hours.
Okay. Anyways, if the court can, if these are two entrances in the exclusion zone that were relatively brief, I mean, notwithstanding Mr. Burnside's attempt at an explanation, Again, it doesn't appear that he had any contact with the complainant, which is the main purpose of the exclusion zone, and the main purpose of the stay away order is to ensure her safety and that there's no untoward interference between Mr. Burnside and her pending
Or intimidation.
Correct. Interference of any kind, whether we're talking intimidation or sweet talking. But given that there's no indication that any of that happened, my request would still be the same, Judge.
I was with you until I started asking questions. His answers are kind of elusive. And I don't think he's been very honest with the court.
I actually tend to disagree. I think he has been honest. I don't think he meant, I'm not going to say meant. I don't think he was trying to contact the victim or do anything. He may just be, doing sketchy stuff, but yeah, I do actually believe him. And the judge is pressing him a little bit hard on this because his story doesn't, he's waffling on his story. His facts are there, but he just doesn't come across as confident. And now he's raising his hand. You know what we say when people raise their hand? Put your hand down.
He has his hand raised now. What?
I was just wanted to say I was being honest with you, sir. I was telling you the truth. Like, all I want to do is just get back to work and get back to my son.
So when do you work?
I'm supposed to be at work right now today. By the kids being out,
Hold on.
at work.
Hold on, wait a minute. You weren't working that day, were you?
Yes, I supposed to went to work yesterday and today.
No, sir. The day that this happened, on January 1st, you weren't working that day, were you?
No, we was off that day.
Right.
And then the next day, and then the third and the fourth, that's when we come back to work. I said then the third, that's when we come back to work, which was that Wednesday. I gotta finish doing the gym floor for the basketball team.
What do you do?
Floors, I'm a floor technician. I clean floors, I scrape them, I buff them, whatever you need me to do to your floor, I can do. I wax them too.
Working there.
I've been working here for the last 2 years.
What's your position, Ms. Jones?
Well, Judge, as the court stated, his answers don't seem to make a whole lot of sense in the big picture. However, it doesn't really seem like he is trying to have contact with the complainant. It seems like he's just not maybe taking the exclusion zone very seriously. If you have a tether and there's an exclusion zone, stay as far away from it as you can so you don't have any problems. That's the easiest thing to do. So I really am not having an objection at this time, though, to
Well, this is what I'm inclined to do. I'm inclined to reinstate the tether.
Mhm.
However, the tether is going to be reinstated with house arrest, work only.
Mhm.
So now you don't have an issue as to whether or not you're in the exclusion zone, because everything outside of your house is the exclusion zone, except for when you go to work.
Yes, sir.
You violate one more time, I'm gonna put you there in jail and you're gonna stay there until this case is resolved. You understand?
Yes, sir. I have
All right.
another, sir.
What?
After, when the kids come back to school, our work schedule is gonna go back to 1 to 9. Right now,
So, Mr. Burnside, all you have to do with the Tether unit is verify your employment, and you have to provide your schedule. They will then authorize you to go out during the times and dates that you are scheduled to work. So if that changes, you don't have this curfew. It's just release for work whenever that schedule is, and you have to verify it with Tether. Does
Okay,
that answer your question? And
Yes,
Judge,
sir.
please correct me if I'm wrong. That's my understanding of how this release to work usually works.
I believe so.
Thank you.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge. Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
I think that was right. He did violate the neutral zone or whatever the zone was called and got in trouble for it because he did it twice in one day. So I get it. So now he's on house arrest where he can go to work and that's it. I think that's appropriate. So if he was doing something sketchy, he can't anymore. If it was an accident, he should have known better. So I think that was right. I was a little worried while watching that Judge King would have came down really hard on him. Because like I said, I buy his story. I just think he's not really a good teller of facts. So, but I'm glad that was the resolution. All right. Now that was the slowest clip of the four that I have. I think we're either going to Perkins or Simpson now. Don't remember which one. If it's Perkins, hold on to your hats, everybody. The Perkins clip is amazing. If it's Simpson, that one is also good. But yeah, let's go.
He's going to have an issue. All right, what are we doing?
So, Your Honor, we are asking for an adjournment. I've been working with Mr. Capaldi to get information for treatment. I did speak with the prosecution. They were looking to hopefully get him into the felony drug treatment program. He wanted to submit proof of treatment that he has been receiving since the onset of this particular case. I think that was what, November?
Yes, I've done inpatient twice since then. I just got signed up again about 10 days ago, a week and a half ago, to continue inpatient. I had lost my job after the last time I came here because I couldn't get my license back. I started a new job on Monday. So I have transportation, no reason to miss anything. And the outpatient is intensive outpatient. It's three-hour meetings on Skype and one in person per week.
How come you're not doing your testing?
On the 13th and the 19th, I had showed up. I only had $10. Like I said, I had lost my job. I can go test right now.
On the 13th, I have the
13th, I had just missed, Your Honor. Sorry.
the 4th of December. No show, no call. December 13th.
Was that before I had spoke with the other attorney about that? That was when I didn't have my license. I told him
This is kind of funny, a funny little story. So I told you guys all, was it yesterday or the day before, that I'm interviewing a judge on Monday. And one of the people I'm talking to help me formulate, good questions to ask, they're in the know of who I'm talking to. And the judge responded to me and he wanted to do the interview today. And I actually responded to the judge saying, I can't do it today. I have a job interview. And the person helping me just started laughing and just said, you just nailed the court bingo card. The judge always loves to hear you're starting a job or you have a job interview. So that's just kind of funny that I actually got a chance to say that to a judge.
there was only a couple weeks there that I was supposed to be getting my license back, and he said when they adjourned it last time, everything would be cool if I got my license back. I didn't because of
Mr. Cavaldi,
Yes, sir.
November 21st, you were positive for THC. You don't have a medical marijuana.
Yes, I got that in last time. Last time I was here, I've had it.
All right, then I'll skip up over the next positive. December 4th, 2023, missed sample. No show, no call. December 13th, no show, no call. December 19th, issued a bond violation report. Have you been back there?
No, I plan to go.
No, yeah, I know. That caused me on December 22nd to issue a bench warrant for your arrest because you hadn't been complying with community corrections.
Okay.
This was today. Judge Simpson actually almost had an entire docket today. I want to say probably 4 to 5 hours were on YouTube. And since I didn't start watching court till about 12:30 this afternoon when I got home, I just pretty much just watched him all day. So yeah, this was from today.
I had gone up there. I just had the $12. I didn't know that you couldn't run.
When did you go up there?
13th and 19th.
You went there.
Yes.
So they're telling me it was a no show, no call.
No, I showed up there. I just didn't have.
Who'd you talk to?
No idea, Your Honor. Whoever was at the front desk.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
So why would they put down no show, no call if you showed up?
the only reason I can think is because when I walked in there, I had just told them I only had $10, and they said that they weren't going to let me test, and if I didn't get signed in, I can go twice a week. I can go every day.
Yeah, I know, because you're in trouble.
No, we have 2 vehicles now in my house. I can test as much as. I got a new job I'm starting Monday. I have transportation. I'm still in an intensive outpatient
Where are you in intensive outpatient?
with Skywood IOP.
How long have you been in that?
Since I've been coming here, over 60. I've signed up twice for it. I've done 2 cycles of it. My inpatient was at Skywood when I first came here. I'd gotten released from Skywood a day or 2 before first time I came here, and I've been doing outpatient since then. I have the documentation.
Did you give that to your attorneys?
I do have that, Your Honor. I have his, I presented, I don't remember which API. I'm actually forwarding it to Mr. Childers right now. He presented this information to me when this case first began. We were just waiting on more treatment under his belt to get proof of his continued treatment through Skywood. So I think there was an initial date or hearing that he had missed, and he was in their inpatient treatment program at that time, and we presented that information.
Right, that was,
He has a warrant out for his arrest. So him missing so many tests, there's a warrant out for his arrest. That's why the bailiff's behind him. He gets he'll have a list of the people that have warrants or are potentially going to be in handcuffs. So that's why he's there. But yeah, he does look extra vigilant today. We all saw what happened to that Nevada judge yesterday, where the guy Rick flared himself over the bench. So I'm sure that got around. I don't know if it travels in the court world, but yeah, if I was a bailiff, I would be paying extra attention for the next couple of weeks, because once that starts going around, who knows? That could become a trend, and hopefully it doesn't.
got that part, but I still don't know why he's missing his test.
And he spoke with me today, Your Honor, and told me about the $10. He stated that out of county, they're usually able to allow him to run up a tab, or they will allow them to pay whatever they can and allow them to test. I did not get to speak with anyone from community corrections.
I'm getting a sign-on bonus also with the new job that I'm starting.
Okay,
So I'll be able to pay for it, everything.
okay, sir, I don't think this is an issue of payment. I don't think you showed, because that's what I'm being told. And I can't believe that you walked in, said, I only have this much, and then you just walked away. And then you walk in the following week, do the same thing, and just walked away. And if you did that, then your whole purpose in doing that is so that you didn't have to test, but try to say I could show, because you know you're supposed to test.
No, I really have.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Mr. Carrie Akinruli, you can call over to community corrections, see if anybody's seen this gentleman.
Okay.
And whether or not they're willing to change his report. Otherwise, what's gonna end up happening is he's gonna sit. And even for right now, because I can't trust you, Mr. Allen, you can take him back. As soon as we get an answer, then we'll deal with it.
Thank you, Judge.
Recalls the case of the people versus Mark Capaldi.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Chinazi Carey, I can really, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Mark Capaldi. Mark, could you state your name for the record, please?
Mark Anthony Capaldi. All right.
So, Your Honor, I appreciate the passing of this case to allow me to look into some things. I did go over to community corrections. Unfortunately, they stated that they did not have any proof or indication that Mr. Capaldi had been there on those particular dates. I spoke with Mr. Capaldi. He reassured me that he did go. He told me that there was no opportunity or an offer for him to sign in anywhere. And I mean, to his credit, Your Honor, no client has ever told me that they went to community corrections, was unable to pay, and was given the opportunity to sign in for proof that they had been there. Mr. Capaldi indicates that he had been doing everything in his power to make sure he was compliant with the court orders. He did have the issues with testing, and we're here now. I would ask that the court reconsider remanding him, specifically because he indicates to me that he has some significant responsibilities at home. He's an only child who is the only child of an only child who is now deceased. So his mother is late, and he is responsible for his two ailing grandparents. Both of them are elderly, and they have a host of medical issues. He indicates that his grandfather just came out of surgery. They're doing some type of brain surgery. It's incomplete right now, but they've been able to drill into his head, and there are some other items or medical equipments that they need to use to place in there for either drainage purposes or I don't have the complete information. He also indicates that his grandmother is scheduled to have one of her feet amputated in the upcoming weeks. That, along with his financial situation, him trying to keep up with his outpatient treatment, those are just a number of things that have really weighed down on him or made it extremely difficult for him to keep up. But he states that he had been doing his absolute best. He tested positive for THC. That is the only positive test that I saw on the list. He has been able to present to me, and I think I gave it back to him, proof of his medical marijuana card. He states that he had been in communication with his community corrections agent. I did put a call over to her, but unfortunately I was not able to reach her. And I'm just waiting for callbacks on a couple of things to see what else we can present to the court on his behalf today. I don't even know what to suggest as a remedy for this, Your Honor, because I understand the issue is him not testing. He indicates he's about to start work, and hopefully financial issues will no longer.
Yeah, again, let me just say this. The report from November 14th of 2023, and I recall this was Mr. Capaldi very clearly. If this were a one-time thing, then maybe I don't have an issue, but in that report,
Stilla, they knew that you guys were goggling over, the buff lift, so they had to change it out. They read the chats. They do.
they received a letter from Sky.
Oh, also, no. I haven't seen No since DeSanto shut down. That's generally where I talk to him all day. But that's a good point. I haven't seen him in probably a little over a week, so I will reach out to him, make sure he's okay.
With recovery that he entered residential treatment on 11/1 and was discharged on 11/14. All right, but there was no completed treatment information received by community corrections. He didn't report to his random test on the 13th. So he told me all of that when he came on November 16th. And if Mr. Crowley remembers, he still hadn't gone over and tested after he got out. And I told him he was to test that day. I gave him a break and I told him he needed to get over there and test on November 16th. And I think it should have been clear to the defendant at that time that
Hey, no worries. I realized that after your first couple comments, you were talking about the last video. I was trying not to laugh, but it happens. It happens in every single live I do. There's people that are behind, and I have to. You'll say something funny, but it's to the last video, and I want to show it. It's like it's going to confuse people. It has nothing to do with this case. You're all good, man.
He was to continue testing.
That was again.
Okay, and Your Honor, he was released from the facility on the 14th, which is why he had missed that 13th test. He did go and test on the 17th. He was negative. He then had the 2 positive THCs on the 21st and the 27th, and then we're into the last 3 missed tests that we have. I have proof of his completion of the inpatient, but I don't have anything regarding his outpatient treatment that he's been doing. He said that he has the proof for that, though.
Anything else?
Nothing else at this time, Your Honor. Nothing else, Your Honor.
I'm going to adjourn this probable cause conference to the 11th at 9 a.m. or as his invite indicates. At this point, and Mr. Capaldi, you're going to have to get the point. I expect people to follow my instructions. Defendant's bond is reset at $25,000 cash surety. I will review that again on that date, but as of right now, defendant's going
That was the 11th, Judge?
the 11th next week.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, that guy was lucky that Judge Simpson was in a fairly good mood today. There was a lot of cases. I got a lot of his content today. He was in a good mood. That guy got lucky. I think I can never pronounce the defense attorney's name. Azaruli? I don't know. It's even worse when you try to read it, but I'm trying to remember what it sounded like from what Judge Simpson said. But she did a good job advocating for him that second time. Guy's got a lot going on. And, like, I get it. But he missed a bunch of tests, and that's when the warrant went out. So he got lucky. He got a break. Hopefully he gets his act together and, starts testing, get off probation, go take care of his grandparents. All right, now we're going to Judge Perkins. This guy, you know what? I'm not even going to give you a hint of what's going on. If you've seen this already, you've seen it already. But this is what you absolutely do not do to a judge. And Judge Perkins generally, he's kind of like Simpson, where he, you know what? I'm going to stop rambling. Let's just go play. Let's go.
Always.
Yeah.
Let's continue on.
Okay.
We'll close that out. That's Michael Goins. Michael Wayne Goins, you here?
Yes, sir. Michael Goins here.
He just jumped in. This is the state of Michigan versus Michael Wayne Goins, case number SX430-10431. Appearance for the record, please.
Not really sure how he got that cigarette off without being called out on it, but we all just saw it. He's smoking. I also did cut out, there's about a 5-second clip missing from this where he's showing his registration. I did cut that out. So there's going to be a weird little edit here in about 30 seconds. Just a heads up.
Chair Harris, on behalf of Mr. Goins, please state your name for the record.
Michael Goins.
Good morning to you, sir. Today is the date time set for a pretrial. Well, no, it's not. It's set for a pretrial on February the 2nd. So you're here early. Do you have valid registration, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let's see what you have, please. Hold it up. All right, I'm gonna dismiss the case for providing valid documentation. Nothing further,
Thank you.
sir. Very good night. Best of luck to you.
Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Is, the Littleton, I saw you had a, was that you that sent me that stuff, Littleton?
Guy's a fucking dick, bro.
So forever.
Who is that? Mr. Goins.
Oh,
Look at that face. Look at him. He's like, oh no. What did I just do? Now I'm gonna give you my theory. I think he just minimized the app because he's gonna say here in a second that he can't figure out how to get back on. I think he minimized the app and he thought he closed it. I think he thought he disconnected. But man, that is something you don't say. And his case was just dismissed. How are you going to say that? You showed proof that you had registration. At least I think his case was dismissed. I actually don't remember because this is what I remember this guy from is what he just said. But he just got what he should have gotten. He showed proof that he had registration and yeah, all right. We'll see how Judge Perkins handles this. And honestly, I respect Judge Perkins a lot for how he handles this. He's frustrated, he's not angry, and this goes on for a couple hours. So it took the entire docket to edit through this, but yeah, I have a lot of respect for Judge Perkins on how he handled this.
You're in contempt of court, Mr. Goins. I'm gonna give you another court date. Mr. Goins? Mr. Goins? Come on now. Come on back. I heard what you said. Too bad you didn't say that after you left the room. All right. So
I
I'll
don't
give you
know.
another. You what?
I don't know how to get back to it. Hang on.
No, you're right here, right now.
Okay, I see you.
Is that Mr. Goins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard your comment, sir.
I know, sir. I'm sorry.
And too bad you didn't make that comment before you left the room, and I had to hear it.
I understand.
Because now we're gonna deal with it, all right?
I understand, sir.
All right, stand by. We'll take you last. Because I'm gonna
Okay, sir.
show you how that can, how I can be what you said I am.
I understand.
All right, Danny.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
He literally does take him last. Well, there's stragglers at the end. It's not exactly his last case, but he sticks around for about 3 hours. Literally his entire morning was wasted because he did that. You don't do that. Come on, man. Don't do that. Hot mics are a thing though. We've all done it. I do it. I thought I was on mute and was talking, and I thought I was unmuted and was trying to talk when I was muted. It happens. Just don't do that. Especially in court.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now, who are we waiting on? We gotta get lunch, everything. What's going on? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Judge.
Very good.
Thanks, Dwight.
Oh, not a problem at all. I had to resend her court board.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dwight.
Oh, not a problem, young lady.
What do we have? Who's ready, Miss Harris or Mr. Berry? Who's ready? They're in the breakout rooms. All right, Mr. Goins.
Hello?
It absolutely did not.
Well, what did you call me?
Your Honor, I
What did you
apologize.
call?
I'm
No,
sorry.
what did you call?
I didn't call you anything. I thought the phone was off.
No, that's not what you called. You did call me something, and you thought the phone was off and you didn't think I heard you. So let me hear what you called.
A dick, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You know, my best friend hates it when I shorten his name to Dick. He really does. He absolutely hates it. Especially because his name is Steve. Just saying.
That's what I thought.
Your Honor, please accept my apology, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't need these problems, please.
No, I didn't bring the problems on you. I tried to do the best I could. I tried to do the best I could, just like I've done everybody else, to get everybody out of here efficiently and give them a fair deal and give them a fair opportunity to be heard. And you're the type that seems like you throw the stone and hide your hand.
No.
Because when you thought that you weren't, when I wasn't listening, then you go and call me these expletives. I don't know why. It's not like I don't know why. I don't know why you feel that way. But you only did that because you thought I wasn't listening. Do I need to put you in a breakout? Do I need to put him in a breakout room with you, Mr. Berry?
Well,
I think I need to put him in a breakout room because I have right now. We can have a.
Mr. Barry's like, no, do not pick me for this. I do not want any part of this. It's like I am way too busy. I do not want to deal with this guy who just called you a dick. Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm gonna take myself off this case that you just put me on.
Contempt hearing, because in the court's presence, he laid out some very descriptive expletives and calling me that. I don't know what I did to him. Maybe he doesn't like the way I run my show. But
Your Honor,
have a conversation with the lawyer.
All right, sorry.
and
Wait in the breakout room, Mr. Goins. Let's go with Mr. Gaines. What's going on with Mr. Gaines?
I've had a conversation. Yes, Your Honor. We are ready to deal with this situation, and if the court would permit me to call as a witness Mrs. Goins, who was present.
This is not a trial or anything right now. But I'm just going to hear what you have to say. Go ahead. I'll allow Ms. Goins to speak if you need to.
Your Honor, the situation is this. The Goins have a 20-year-old autistic child who in the last 24 hours has been very, very difficult. And when Mr. Goins spoke those words, he was directing his comments to his wife about the difficulties they've had over that. This comment came in regard to his son's conduct and his difficulty in dealing with him overnight and over the past 24 hours. And that's the situation. And inadvertently, obviously inadvertently, the channel was open to the court. But these comments were not directed at the court.
I don't agree. I think Mr. Goins is all but admitted they were directed to the court.
Your Honor, were we back on with Mr.
We're
Goins?
not on the record. We're not on the record. We'll settle this off the record. I think that Mr. Goins already all but admitted that he was speaking of the court when he said that. I get it. You know, dealing with autistic, child is autistic, and having to deal with that can be a heavy burden. Also being in court, especially all morning, especially the long docket that we've had today. It's not first place that anybody wants to be, but you know, everybody's got something to deal with. I got a mom that's sitting in grave condition in the hospital right now that I am dealing with doctors and dealing with hospitals and dealing with these things and navigating these things. But I control my frustrations, and I especially don't, even the people that I think have, that aren't really giving me a fair opportunity. If I'm gonna call them that, I'm gonna call them that to their face. And I'm not gonna inadvertently call them that when I thought that the camera was off. That's just how I do it. So, you know something, Mr. Goins, I'm gonna let it go at that and just move on from it. It probably is not the first time, and I'm sure it certainly won't be the last time, but it's not gonna change the way I operate. I believe that I am very fair, and I'm definitely very compassionate about people going through their situations. I'm gonna pray for you and your wife and your family. I'm gonna wish you a very happy new year, and I hope you can control your frustrations a little bit better next time, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. There's nothing further. You're free to leave, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Again, Judge Perkins just performed a masterclass on how to deal with that in courtroom. I know a lot of judges, I know we've all seen judges that would have just thrown the book at them instantly. You need to turn yourself in right now for contempt. We'll talk about this tomorrow. He handled that well. And, you know, now after watching that a second time, I kind of do buy his story that he was talking about his son. Because his case was dismissed. He showed his registration. His case was dismissed. He had no reason to have any animosity. I can't speak. No ill will or anger, frustration, whatever, towards Judge Perkins. Now, is it okay to call his son that? No, but I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. But yeah, Judge Perkins, good job. Good job. Let the guy go. Let him, go figure out his family situation. I think that was appropriate. All right, last one. Last one is a new judge. I put a clip of her about a week ago, but it was just a little snippet in the intro. I like this judge. I like her a lot. I don't know her name. I feel like her initials are MM because that's always what pops up on screen. But I don't know her name yet, and I gotta figure that out. All right, let's get this last clip. But before I do hit the play button, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and do your jump kick backflips. All right, let's go.
Matter 23, CM88, State of Wisconsin versus Dana Hubble. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Kevin Schmidt in person. We have Mr. Hubble appearing in person in custody with counsel Christopher Gramstrup appearing by video conferencing capability. I don't see him, but I see that he is present and
Is that what he said? I rewound that a few times to see if that's what he said, because that's what he sounded like he said. Is that what he said? Because I will take back everything I just said if that's what he said. Because it did sound like it, but it was so kind of faint. And yeah, I'm deaf. I'm mostly deaf. So please let me know if that's actually what he said.
he is not muted. We're set here today in this matter for a motion hearing. Mr. Hubble and now Mr. Gramstrup is present by video. Mr. Hubble is requesting to be granted the ability to serve the remainder of his jail sentence on electronic monitor so that he may have Huber-related privileges, victims' rights compliance.
Yes, and the victim is here today. I don't want to give a statement today.
Does the victim wish to provide any statement as to whether or not the court should entertain the request for Huber or deny the request for Huber? If so, please come have a seat at the black table over there and state either your name or your initials for the record.
Mark Larson. And I feel he should have the rest of his sentence in jail. He's already been granted certain privileges already. I know he spent 8 days already so far, but I don't feel he should be granted the permission to have Hubert not in Burnett County. I feel if he does, he should be able to do it out of another county, because I know we don't have Hubert in Burnett County. So
No, it would be through an electronic monitor being monitored with his GPS coordinates and ensuring his absolute sobriety. But it would be house arrest. You are correct.
okay. Again, I don't feel he should get that, but
All right, thank you. Mr. Gramstrup, argument?
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. It's pretty straightforward, contained mostly in my affidavit. There have been some updates, though. I put Mr. Hubble's work schedule in there. His hourly wage is $27 an hour. He works at St. Croix Tribal Housing Authority. He does plumbing and maintenance. His fiance, he resides with his fiance who has 3 children. They also have now, I think probably 6.5-month-old baby approximately that he's financially responsible for. Since filing our motion with the affidavit, I've been informed that Megan Tyson, his fiance, has lost her job. So Mr. Hubble is the sole source of income for his family. He tells me that if he can't get to work if he can't get released on a monitor and Huber privileges to work, it's very likely that he would lose his job. I don't think that would serve the community or be good for the community to have him come out and be sort of, I guess, just sort of behind the 8 ball, as I would say, in a difficult situation, financially and otherwise. I haven't gotten an update, but prior to filing and shortly after filing, up until he reported to jail, which I think was Christmas night, he'd been testing regularly, and to my knowledge, he has had all negative tests. I think that's to his credit. I think that gives the court some comfort that he is following the rules and would continue to follow the rules. I think it's very important that he be allowed to maintain his employment and this jail sentence not be financially crippling to him and his family. So I would ask that the court grant the motion.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schmidt, argument?
Thank you, Hayden.
I would argue that the
And
court
welcome,
should
Lisa.
deny the motion I would argue to the court our county can't have Huber in the traditional sense because our jail is not equipped for it. I conferred with Captain Taggart, so I'd, as an offer of proof, I'd state that we do not have the facilities or the staffing to accommodate Huber. And times the court has done something akin to electronic monitoring. I think the court used the term house arrest at some point in this hearing to talk about what it does sometimes in lieu of Huber. I would oppose that because in this case in particular, the reason I asked for the jail, and I don't ask for jail in very many cases like this, was for the punitive aspect. I do not believe that house arrest or electronic monitoring at home with restrictions on when he can go out and what he can do is sufficiently punishing in this case. I think that nothing can replace the removal from your comfortable environment into the uncomfortable environment of jail. If we had a real Huber facility, I might think differently where someone returns to that at night. But given that we don't, I would oppose the electronic monitoring for the reason that it's not sufficiently punishing, and I would oppose the Huber because our jail simply can't accommodate it. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Hubble, is there anything else that you would like to state on your behalf here today?
I would just like to.
For the record, I did read your letter as well as the letter from your significant other asking for leniency from the court, but you may continue.
I would just like to state that I have done everything that has been asked of me with, alcoholic testing, all that. I've done all of it. I passed all of it. When it comes to, I'm fully open to, I'm taking accountability for my action. I know what
All right, that's a good question. The judge is about to say exactly what happened. This guy got drunk and apparently beat the crap out of the victim at a bar. And it's all on camera. I tried to look it up. Couldn't find it. I was hoping it was out there somewhere, but I couldn't find it. But it was pretty nasty is what the judge says. And the reason I have this clip in here is because the judge has a great line to this defendant that's coming up here soon. But yeah, he got drunk and got into a bar fight.
I did was wrong.
It was beyond wrong. It was atrocious.
Yes. And the only reason that I'm asking for the work release is to be able to take care of my family financially. Because without my financial help to them, then we lose the house and everything. She's not able to pay for it.
Well, it's 45 days. It's not a lifetime. It's not 6 months.
But it is financially crippling for us. 45 days is what would, I'm already $1,000 behind on my truck payment.
And it's emotionally crippling for Mr. Larson.
I understand.
It was physically damaging to Mr. Larson. It was beyond, it was jaw-dropping, atrocious is the only word that comes to mind because it was so hideous in nature, so just beyond any normal response, even of a drunk person that night. But for the fact I watched the video in black and white, you got into a bar fight. You were just being a drunken fool. Here you were a violent, abusive, nasty, destructive, drunken jerk face.
Mm-hmm.
And why should Mr. Larson have to carry the burden with all of his emotional things that he's going on that happened after this incident with your financial burden? That's your burden. That's part of your conduct and your behavior and your responsibility and your accountability. If I recall correctly, the state asked for a lot more than the 45 days I sentenced. I was very lenient in my sentence for the conditional jail. I think if I recall correctly, the state asked for 3 months.
I believe it was 10 to 30 days.
Oh, maybe I went beyond. I don't recall. I thought that they were asking for more. But even if I went beyond what the state was recommending for the jail, it's because of the fact that your behavior that night was so despicable. It was so disgusting And the court really does need to deter others from doing this, not only you, but this is something that somebody should not have to go to work and their life should not be on the line. It should not be on the line. When you're serving somebody alcohol and it's supposed to be a fun type of environment, they shouldn't be going, okay, am I going to go home tonight or not? That's what law enforcement officers do. That's not what a bartender should do. A bartender should go, you know what? I'm going to be a little tired tonight when I go home because maybe people are going to be staying until 2 or later. I don't know. I think bar close, you can go after 2 at the last call. But
Lisa, we jump in Discord after every live just to talk for a little bit. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come join our conversations. So, the victim to bartender, this guy got drunk at the bar and decided to get in a fight with the bartender. And as a former bartender, I've known a few people that have wanted to fight me and it's never happened. I've only kicked out 2 people ever as a bartender. And I'm going to tell you this. You're not kicked out for being drunk in a bar. You're kicked out for being an asshole in a bar. Everyone's drinking. So bartenders don't kick out drunks. They kick out assholes. But yeah, the jerk face comment was the one I wanted to highlight. It was a good comment. And yeah, the judge is not wrong on this guy. When I was trying to find the video for this, I found this guy's background. He's got 2 different alcohol related offenses. One of them is a DUI. So this guy has a battle with alcohol. So, at a bar drinking after his last DUI was in 2020 or 2021. So he's probably fresh off probation from that. And he's at a bar drinking and gets in a fight with the bartender. I totally agree with the jail sentence here.
they shouldn't be going, am I going to have to go to the hospital tonight? And I understand that you have financial difficulties, and I understand the impact that it's having on your significant other and your children. And I can tell you, I don't believe that even Mr. Larson would like to see that happen. But it was so beyond uncalled for what you did that night. And I do understand that in your letter that you wrote that was filed in the file, that either you wrote or your significant other, that you have a whole history of an abusive growing up and you have trauma.
That's actually a good point. It probably did. Unfortunately for the bartender, but also the bartender may have taken some punches that if he would have gotten behind the wheel may have saved someone's life. I mean, from the sound of what the case is about, you're not wrong, Legal Fiction.
In your life and alcoholism and all of those things. But none of those incidents, none of that conduct and what you grew up with caused you to do what you did that night. That was your behavior. And that, as much as it really does, it hurts. And I'm sure it even hurts the victim here to hear the impact that it is having on your children and on your significant other. But this is something that it can't be stood for. And to have even house arrest, even being monitored and doing those things, even with normal Huber program where you would go out and come back in, that's a privilege. This case, and in viewing that video, there needs to be punishment and a deterrent factor. And that's why there's that 45 days conditional jail. And there's the whole 9 months hanging over your head, the total of 9 months. And hopefully it'll never get to that. And I really do hope and pray for your children and for your significant other that you're not going to lose your home, and that hopefully she can find another job, or hopefully you can make ends meet and have and float. But this is not something where you should get the privilege of being able to serve the time outside of custody. This is something where a 30-year-old man needs to now seriously take into account your actions and your life and put it into perspective and realize that this is not how you want to live. So the 45 days stands, no Huber, no electronic monitor. We are adjourned.
All right. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming along. If you're late, rewind. Go check out the clips. They're all good. They're all good clips. 4 good court clips. Different judges, kind of range of what happened, but pretty much defendants didn't play well with others or didn't follow court instruction. You know, the normal stuff that we watch in court every day. So, we're about to jump over to Discord, hang out in the lounge for a little bit. If you guys want to come hang out, let's go. But before I say goodnight, if you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe and do your jump kick backflips. And you know what? I will upload a video of me doing a jump kick and a backflip just to make you guys happy. Just not soon. Gotta practice my backflips and my jump kicks. And my backflips and jump kicks. All right. Let's go hang out in Discord. But until next time, bye.
You judge.